I'm that girl who knows that people come into these lifetimes with unique, special talents and gifts, and they remember it as children and they get to experience it and develop it as adults. However, some get lost on the way for whatever reasons. So remember what gave you joy and what you really excelled at and what you were really interested in as children often gives us reminders of what we were supposed to be able to expand upon and grow our skill sets on in this lifetime. I feel from many sessions that I've done with people that they're always seeking, what was my purpose? What am I supposed to be doing here? And the subconscious always is a great reminder to them. They already remembered this in their own childhoods, what they were naturally gifted at. But often it seems that when we're naturally gifted at something, we just dismiss it as if it is not valuable because it comes naturally to us. And so we must be able to remember what naturally came to us and what we were really focused on as small children. And this is a big clue to who we truly are and what we are supposed to bring to this world. Every lesson and experience that we have in other lifetimes and everything that we prepare for this current lifetime is all very significant and purposeful. So think, what did you used to do as a child that you used to love and that bring you joy and keep your vibrations high? Remembering the more we kind of grow up, the more we get disconnected from our true selves and we start adding on density and we lower our vibrations as we're trying to figure out what on earth is going on here. And so when we remember back what truly gave us joy as children, that may look like dancing. And many people think, I am a dreadful dancer now. How could I make an income and living from this? And so we stop ourselves. I can't possibly imagine getting paid to do dancing and to be able to live on an income that I think I deserve and need and require to be able to live my fulfilled life. And now when we ask the subconscious this, they are very convinced when we're in purpose, when we're doing our life missions, and when we are in our truest joy, we magnetize and we attract and we call in all the money and abundance that we actually do require. Our teams are to support us. So if we are on purpose and on path, they will provide for us. It's almost like a universal law. So we have dismissed so many times what we're naturally good at because we don't see the value in it. We were not trained in this. We don't have a certificate in it or whatever. I mean, I have degrees, but I still don't feel like I am a spokesperson for art history, classical studies, and religion. But I still understand that. Well, I did at the time, but that was 20 years ago when I was at university. And so I have to remember what my natural skill sets were. I loved to look at art as a little child, and I wanted to understand the purposes and messages that I believed and felt that art had. And I constantly would have been told by all the adults around me I couldn't possibly do anything that was like an artist or be anything to do with the art world because it doesn't create money. And I was told that at a very young age. And so I think these people were trying to help me and guide me and support me because we should be apparently focusing on money. But the reality is I was never trying to create money. I was trying to create art, to be able to find my own personal expression, to know and remind myself who I am. And so often it is not about us being the artists or being the dancers. It is about us being able to reconnect with ourselves, with creation, with expression, to be able to be in alignment, to be reminded of who we are. And so while we do come in with amazing skill sets that we have achieved and learned from other lifetimes, which are going to help us and help humanity in this life we're living now, we also wanted to experience new skill sets and to explore different things that we haven't mastered, because it kind of gets boring if you just master one thing all the time. And this is the reason why our soul wants many different lifetimes to be able to experience all the different things it can experience on this planet. And so if we can help ourselves remember what we were naturally interested in and connected within. Many people were obsessed with animals or nature as children. Those are your keys to be able to understand and remind yourself how you can connect in with yourself and get your alignment and your joy. So please remember, we're not seeking money right now. We're seeking empowerment for yourselves and to be able to get your expression and connection back in. So find a fun song and dance, move that body. And this is fantastic for everyone because it does raise your vibrations quite high. And so when we just allow ourselves to sing a song, even if we get 50% of the words wrong and we're 100% out of key, it doesn't matter. When we are putting in our best joy, it will naturally raise our vibrations. And so this is all part of our responsibilities to do our inner work and empower ourselves to be in alignment. And so remembering what we used to do to give ourselves joy when we were little, and then now think about what were the things that were kind of obvious to you now when you reflect back on your whole life. What are the things and the skill sets you wanted to master? Often it is about mastering conflict and be able to not eat yourself up or loop yourself when there is conflict, to be able to resolve it with harmony and to be able to discuss things in a very calm rate. Often when we're so confused and we want to have conflict because we're trying to get out our minds and our thoughts and feelings all into one big explosion, it doesn't go well. So we need to be able to just be balanced and neutral with our own personal selves after we've aligned ourselves, to be able to have these better experiences, to be able to come from a very neutral place. Many people are afraid of conflict or communication or speaking their truth because at one point it did go terribly wrong. And so we know that we can lock and block ourselves from experiences that happened in the past that didn't go so well. So let's think about a time where we did try to speak our truth and it went terribly wrong. And our assumption wrong. And so let's think about that and then think, if I could do that again, how would I change my approach and demeanor with that scenario? And then if you look at it from the other person's perspective, how would you think that they could have done better for them to be able to express themselves? And just without feeling frustrated over that old situation, but sort of like dissect it, look at all the parts and components and think, how could that have been a better resolution? And then be able to empower yourself with that knowledge and that wisdom and that experience from that example to have faith and trust. You can now try again. It didn't kill you. It was awkward and uncomfortable, yes. But you have to overcome it. And we can't be naturally perfect at everything instantly. It takes time. It took us a long time to walk. It took us a long time to start spelling and reading and writing. And so it takes us a long time to be able to communicate with our feelings and our conflicts. And every time there is a new drama or situation that happens on this planet, we're all triggered back into feeling the emotions, trying to figure out how we're going to navigate through it and then try to overcome it. So, these are all experiences that are being provided for us on a daily basis to be able to overcome and master. And then once we overcome and master one thing, we get the excitement of new steps and new levels. And this is part of us in our evolutionary state. This is part of us on our big journey. And as we all know, it's very hard to not notice what is going on in the world right now. So it's giving us all great opportunities to explore these things that can profoundly trigger us and keep us in fear and worried and a whole lot of those really fun emotions to play with, to be able to overcome them. So once we identify what our triggers are and what we're feeling about certain things, then we can easily start verbalizing them with ourselves and be able to identify those emotions and then check, is this a fear I'm buying into the future, or is this a fear that is occurring to me today? Because often When we are buying into future fears, it will bottom out and make us in worry and very afraid. We've all been there. So I don't know why I'm mansplaining this, but I'm wanting to remind you and encourage you, we are to overcome these. And it's very possible for us to overcome them, because the reality is we are just battling with our emotions and our mindsets. And so when we have them balanced and when we can see, is this a future threat? Is this a worry? Am I buying into someone else's fear? Because the truth community and even the spiritual community has a lot of fear in it. You can research all of the old timelines to see all of the terrible things that were supposed to happen to us and truly impact humanity in a really negative way. I'm just talking about nuclear weapons. Many people have asked in sessions, because of their locations on where they're living in this planet, is my country going to be vulnerable to a nuclear attack? And every single client has the same information from their subconscious. We took away the technology because you darn kids shouldn't play nice with them. We can't play nice with them. My words, not the subconscious. Subconscious is much better, saying we've taken that technology away from humanity because you don't have responsibility enough to use it. And so it's not something that is on the life contracts for this planet at this time. And I can't imagine it changing anytime soon. We'll just keep asking about that, but I trust that would not be the right lessons and experiences for people who are trying to wrap up their 3D experience to master all of those emotions in this planet. So another one that many people are still trying to convince you over is the 5G and the radiation with those towers. And the reality is, yes, it was originally going to be very impactful and not so fantastic for humanity, but because we're so protected, because our high dimensional beings are here supporting us and keeping us safe from these things so we can move forward, it's truly not a threat. But if we worry about the air and things getting us, we will create that fear, lower our vibrations, and then we will be more susceptible to lower other frequencies, and we won't be able to reach our heights of high dimensional vibrations. So as you can see, it is very tempting to worry into all of these things, and many people want to tell and yell at you and scream at you and show you all fake nonsense to be able to prove that their technology of reading the waves of the 5G is a real threat, and therefore buy my products, buy my t-shirts, buy my stuff to protect you. I'm sorry, my spiritual friends, our teams protect us. We can protect ourselves by not tripping into fear, to not believing. And it's not a case of, oh, it's definitely happening, but if you believe it's not, you're safe. It's not happening. And our bodies are upgrading and changing and are really powerful. So please, please, please check those fears. Just because some big influencer who's selling mega bucks of these things to help humanity is convincing you very strongly you need this to survive, check in with your teams, have your own sessions. Remember, the interns are free and can give you full clarification of what your joy is, what you're naturally gifted and talented as, to be able to help you get aligned, to be able to help you, remind you what you're here to learn and experience this lifetime, and what you're going to be doing to help humanity and yourself in the future. So I've said it before and I'll say it again, these sessions are life-changing and profound. And when you truly want to step up and be able to know your true truth for you from your own subconscious, who is better than any guru, influencer, truther out there, do connect in. And one of your questions for your practitioner should be, how is the best way for me to connect in with you more regularly? If you're struggling to be able to connect in with them and meditate and feel their messages, they will help you. They will activate you in the sessions for you to be able to naturally know the difference between a denser emotion that doesn't serve you versus a higher frequency emotion and activity that brings you alignment and joy. And so this is all about taking responsibility of our life journey and having fun with it and mastering it. You're in control of your life, and you have got all of the tools that are free for you to be able to connect in and empower yourself. And once you empower yourself, then you can empower others. And that truly gives me the joy, because I see so much potential in so many people, but because of whatever reasons, they dismiss their empowerment. They dismiss their natural, beautiful callings. They dismiss everything that is very clear to everyone else, how naturally talented and gifted they are. And you all have amazing gifts for humanity. So let's get them out of the closet, shake them up, enjoy your day. I love you all so much. I just want to hug you. Have a blessed day, my friends. Find that joy, find a good boogie, and dance.